Hi guys, so today I am going to be doing kind of a story time. Today I'm going to be talking about my past relationship. So I haven't really talked about this with anyone, and the reason why I chose to talk about this on YouTube and just kind of like bring it out there, I guess you could say, is because I want to bring out awareness because this is real life, and I want to talk about it because it is happening and a lot of people are victims of it. And when you kind of find yourself in the situation, you don't realize it at first, and you know, you're scared to call yourself a victim and scared to tell people around you because of what they might think. So I just want to talk to you guys about my story, and hopefully you know, you guys feel comfortable talking about your stories down below, because I'm always here to talk to you guys. You guys can comment down below, you guys can DM me on Instagram, you can Snapchat me, whatever you guys want, and I will answer. But I just want to bring awareness to this topic, and it's a topic that is very sensitive to some people, you know, and so that's why I want to talk about it today on my channel, because it did happen to me, and you know, now I'm better, and I got out of that relationship, and you know, now I'm actually happy without that person. And you know, so many things go through your head. So I just want to get right into this video. I don't really want to ramble anymore. I just want to start by telling you guys my story, and then I kind of just want to give you guys some tips. So we started dating when I was 15, and I wasn't allowed to date at the time. I grew up with really strict parents, so it was just something that was not really public, I guess you could say, and it was kind of hidden. That month I went to Mexico, which is where I met him. Literally I was there for like 3 weeks, so I met him for like 2 weeks, and then the last few days that I was there, not even a week, it was just like 3 days, we started dating. And you know, I think that you need to give yourself a lot of time, like actual time, to know that person well, which is something that I didn't take, because obviously I was young, and when you're young you don't really like meet the people, you don't really like care about feelings or what they're how they could be. You don't really care about how they could be in the future. You just want to date. And so that was basically my my mindset, that I just wanted to date. I didn't really care to meet him like further out. I mean, I did know him, and like we had this long conversation about each other before we started dating, but I didn't really know much about him. Obviously you're not gonna know a person fully in 2 weeks. So we met, and well, we started dating, and then about 3 days after we started dating, I left to Mexico. I came back to the United States. So when I came back, we, you know, had a long distance relationship, and at first, you know, I did not see any flags. The only thing that I did see that was kind of a flag was that he kind of wanted to fight everyone all the time, like just randomly, like he would find someone in the street, and like at first I thought it was like joking around, you know, I thought it was like a friend, and you know, now that I come to think about it, it was not a joke, and you know, like he really has problems. But anyway, we started talking, and then every day he wanted to talk more and more, and at the time, you know, it didn't really seem like much of a, like, it seemed normal to me, because you know, all relationships, like all boyfriends like want to talk as much as they can to you, you know. That's why you're dating them, and they're kind of attached to you and whatever. So I didn't see that as a flag at the beginning, but then as the months went by, which, trust me, like these 2 years were like the longest years of my life, because there was just so much arguing. There was always arguing, and it was like always my fault for him, and the guilt was put on me, and you know, just so many things went on. And he was overly jealous and overly controlling. So he would be like, what are you wearing? I need to see what you're wearing. You can't be wearing no tank tops or skirts and stuff like that. And I was just like, you're not my father. Because me, I love the sunny weather, especially in the summer. I just love wearing shorts and tanning and wearing skirts and dresses, and you know, I like the sun hitting my skin. I know it's bad for your skin, but you know, I like getting that tan. So when he started like being like that, I was just like really confused. And then not just that, but he was overly controlling of where I went. So he wanted me on the phone all the time when I wasn't at home. I mean, at school or at work. He wanted me on the phone all the time. And so that involved with that implicated things with me going out with my family. Of course I wanted to go out with them, but you know, he was talking to me all the time. So you know, I would be like, I want to go out, and he would just get so mad. And if I went out, he would get super mad. So sometimes, you know, I just stayed home just to not get in any more arguments, because when you're in that situation, and there's arguments all the time in your relationship, but it's your first relationship, and you know, you just kind of like hope that you're gonna marry that person, because I feel like everyone with their first relationship, they just hope that they're gonna marry that person. So they kind of feel more pressure and find themselves obligated to stay with that person and go through so many things. So that's what I felt for the 2 years. And literally I just felt pressured, and I just wanted to not get in any more arguments. So you know, I would do the things he would make me do in order to not fight, which were like not really go out, and you know, not really wear things. And another thing that was really big for us was that me, as soon as my mom let me do makeup, when I was 15, I started my makeup industry, I guess you could say. I started doing my makeup, and you know, slowly by slowly I've been adding more makeup and more things to my routine. But before, when I was with him, I only used to do a liner and you know, kind of the basics of makeup. And I remember he would just like humiliate me for it, like, because obviously he didn't like me wearing makeup, because he felt jealousy that, you know, makeup makes you look prettier. So he felt jealousy that someone else was gonna I don't even know, but he would say only whores wear makeup like that, you shouldn't wear that much makeup and this and that. And so you know, it was just something on the back of my head. Even though I knew I wasn't a whore, and I knew that doing makeup didn't really define you, even though I knew all of that, you know, it was something that was still stuck in my head. And you know, like, I know everybody has gone through this, where someone tells you something and you know they're wrong, but it's still in your mind. And so that was kind of the thing for me, that it was always in my mind. And every time I did my makeup, you know, it was always on my mind. So another thing also was that he stopped me from doing from being active, and by active I mean like working out and, you know, being fit and healthy. And at that time I was starting to lose a lot of weight. I lost probably like 80 pounds around. I lost probably like 40 pounds around there, and it was just like a big difference. You could tell a big difference. And I was getting really into it, and you know, it was becoming more like a lifestyle, and I was losing a lot of weight. And he noticed that, and he did not like it, and he would tell me, oh, you need to stop working out, like that's not right, you shouldn't work out. And he would give me so many different explanations, but deep down the real explanation was that he was jealous, and he was jealous of me achieving this this more attractive look, because obviously he didn't want me to find someone along my way and leave with them. And so it was just kind of like a really deep moment for me, a really deep time for me, because he also isolated me away from my family and friends, and you know, mostly isolated me from everyone. From my Facebook guy friends, he made me delete them all. So for a time I only had friends that were girls, and he kind of isolated me away from my family. Later on, the second year, my family knew about him. For a whole year they didn't know about him, and then for the second year they found out, and all hell broke loose, and my family didn't like him at all. And there was this big controversy. I kind of felt in the middle, and I felt like they were all like tugging at me from both sides. My mom stopped talking to me for like a little bit, but then after that, like, it was just argument after argument with her. My dad, he stopped talking to me for a whole year. My sister stopped talking to me for a whole year. And you know, me and my sister, ever since I can remember, we were so close. We were super close, and we're so close right now too. Like, she's my best friend, I'm her best friend. We tell each other everything. And so I think that year, for both my family and for me, it was a really hard time, especially for me, because, you know, I kind of felt like I was alone at the time, and so that made it even worse, because he knew how I felt. So he kind of took advantage, and he was like, well, yeah, I'm the only one here for you. And like, he just brainwashed my head even more by like making himself look like he was there for me, and he was the only one that cared, when in reality he was just hurting me, and my family were the ones that cared. That's why they were telling me to leave him, and they were telling me all these things. And so so the only person, but I regret everything that happened, but I don't. And the main reason why I don't regret anything that happened was because those 2 years I became super close to my grandma, because my grandma, she was the kind that she did not turn her back when you did something wrong, and she would just kind of like she'll walk along with you or along the way. Maybe she didn't even like him, and I never knew it, because she passed away a year ago. But I don't know if she did or not, but she made it seem like she was with me and she approved of it. And I would talk to her every single day, literally every single day, for like 30 minutes or an hour. And literally, like, during that time she became my best friend, and like I would tell her everything about my relationship, and I honestly just enjoyed it so much, and she enjoyed it too, because over there, like she said that she would feel like lonely whenever I didn't call her or whatever, because she liked having that connection with me. And that's one thing that I really appreciate, because I got the opportunity to get super close to my grandma before she passed away, and you know, it's something very special to me. Even though that whatever I did throughout those 2 years, my parents and my sister, but at least I got to get super close with my grandma. And I also have that too as an experience, because now I know better, and now I have that as, you know, first of all, I have a platform because I have a story that I can share with someone, and hopefully I can, you know, get them out of the situation, or, you know, I can later on, when I'm looking for someone else in the future, I will know what to look for in a person, and I will know what I wouldn't want in a relationship. So to me, that's very important as well. And just for like my parents, I know that it's kind of like I kind of have made them seem like they're bad people, because they stopped talking to me. Same with my sister. But I totally understand them, and I'm grateful that, you know, they're my family, and they've forgotten all of the things that went on, and we've moved on from it. And you know, now I'm trying to compensate everything that I did to them. I'm trying to get all this time that was lost during those 2 years. So backtrack a little bit. The year we broke up for like 3 months, and then when I went back to Mexico, the first day we saw each other, literally, he was already waiting for me outside my house. He knew I was there, and because where I live, it's a small town, so he was already waiting outside my house. And it's like when you dated someone and you meet up with them again, you kind of have this spark, and you know, that's what I felt at the time. I had seen other people, but I was still single, and you know, I still had feelings for him, because obviously, you know, in 3 months I wasn't gonna lose the feelings that I had for him. Even though he took me through so much, you know, I still had feelings for him. And so that very night we got back together, and I was there for like 3 weeks, I think. And you know, so many other incidents happened during my time there. And one of them was that one night we were out, and we were close to my aunt's taco shop, because she has a taco shop in Mexico. And we were just together, and we were, I don't know, I forgot what we were doing, but we were standing up. And a friend from a long time ago, that he lives over there, but he knows English. I don't even know how he knows English, but I've known him for such a long time. Every time I would go there, he was friends with my cousin, so I would see him every time that I went to Mexico. And he went up to me and he was like, "Hey, how are you?" He told me in English, and I was like, "Good, how about you?" And you know, it was just small talk like that. And so then my ex, obviously he didn't know any English, so he didn't know what we were talking about. So he instantly got super mad, and he came up to the guy and he was like, "You know what, I don't like you talking to her. I don't want you talking to her." And the other guy, he got mad. He was like, "I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not disrespecting her in any way. You can't tell me not to talk to her. And he was like, and then they started getting into each other's face, and I swear I thought they were gonna start fighting right there and then. But you know, I went up to the guy, which was older than my ex, and I told him, I was like, you know what, it's not even worth it, just leave it alone. He's not worth it. And so then the guy ended up leaving, but he was like, you know what, I'm gonna see you when you're alone and this and that. And so I was like, I told my ex, I was like, you know what, you ruined my night, you know, because at that time, like, I had just come back. I didn't want to deal with any of this jealousy, so I was like, you know what, I'm going home, you ruined my night. And so of course he follows me after, and when I got to my house, because literally we were like maybe like 2-3 minutes away from my house, so I went back to my house and I sat down, and he hits a car kind of close to me, and you know, because I had my head down, and he hits a car kind of close to me to get attention, I don't even know. And so I look up, and you know, I was surprised, and I felt like scared. At that time I felt scared. Like, as soon as he hit the car, I started feeling scared, because I was like, you know, what if he hits me? And so he hits a car, and then he hits the wall, and obviously it was just so unnecessarily, and you know, I was scared, but I didn't show it. But deep down I was scared, and you know, I told him, I was like, you know what, you have no reason to be mad for. I told him, I was like, he just said, hi, how are you, that's it. He did not say anything else. He did not you know, try and get at me. He did not try and flirt at me, nothing. He just said, hi, how are you? And so then I left inside my house, and I ended up falling asleep. And then later that night, my cousins woke me up, and they were like, he's outside, he said he wants to talk to you. He said if you can come outside. And I was like, you know what, no, not tonight. Like, I don't want to talk to him anymore. I'm just done with the whole situation. And so I don't know what he ended up doing that night, but then that's what happened. The days went on, and I left Mexico again, and it went on for like 8 to 9 more months, when I was finally strong enough to say, you know what, I'm done with this situation. I tried breaking up with him multiple times throughout the 9 months, and he would just kind of bring it back on me. And if one time it was not, like, he would threaten me, he would make me feel guilty about leaving him. He would say, well, if you break up with me, I'm gonna go do this bad things. And you know, I felt guilt in a way, so that's why, you know, I kept being there and I kept taking him back. But by the end of that time, I was just so done. I was done. I just couldn't take it no more longer. So one day things just ended. And you know, it's better to end things faster than later, because later it just decays you so much inside, and it emotionally hurts you so much inside that, you know, you kind of start to live with this fear that, you know, what if all guys are like that? And when you find someone that potentially is interested in you, you just have so many buts in them that, you know, you kind of isolate yourself from getting in relationships. And right now, that's kind of my story. Even though I don't want a relationship, just because I want to focus more on myself and my family before I get into a relationship. But I have met other people along the way, and you know, I just have so many buts for them that you just have like a different mindset than other people. And honestly, like, up to this point, all that I lived still hurts me, but I feel like it matured me so much that, you know, I'm grateful for it in a way, because I'd rather live that in a long distance relationship than in a relationship that was here with me, and I'd rather experience it sooner than later. So honestly, to all those girls out there struggling through the same things, I just recommend you guys to, you know, put yourself first, and think about your relationship, you know, because at that time things can be really confusing, and you know, especially when your partner's like that, they will always put the blame on you, and you will always feel like you're the one to blame, when in reality it's not like that, and it's never your fault. So honestly, girls, you know, there's many guys. You're gonna have so many relationships, which was one of the things that I did not see. I thought that the first person I was with, I had to marry him, but it's not like that. And you have the right to be happy, as well as that other person has the right to be happy. You know, he did whatever he did to me, but I'm sure he'll find the right person for him that will make him change, you know. Or if not, you know, it's his luck, and you know, sooner or later he's gonna realize that he's wrong in what he's doing, and so that's on him now. But for everybody watching, I do hope that if you find yourself in this situation, I hope that you're able to get yourself out of it, and you know, just let someone know and talk to someone. Have someone that you can talk to, and that person will get you through it, and they'll help you end the relationship in the right way, because no one should feel the need to stay in a relationship like that. And that's what I needed to learn, you know. I kind of heard it a lot, but you know, I personally needed to know that that at the end of the relationship I was gonna meet new people, and you know, I was gonna be okay. And so I already made this video super long, which I knew was gonna happen. But if you guys have any questions, you guys want me to go more into detail about something, comment down below. As well, if you guys are struggling through the same thing, also comment down below, and I'll be so happy to answer your guys' comments. If not, DM me, Snapchat me, whatever you guys want. But with that being said, if you guys aren't already subscribed, turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss my next video. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.